The 3rd May 2026, I'm again doing a practice to start to overcome my hesitation and reduce my fears working, producing videos for YouTube and uploading them, editing them. This is the 3rd time I'm doing this. Yesterday was already a step up. I feel a lot more normal. I didn't felt any kind of tension in this. I didn't felt any kind of, or not a lot of nervousness before, maybe a little bit. And I hadn't an empty mind how I had it in the first time. So yesterday was already quite a big of an improvement. I also didn't really had tension uploading it or any kind of discomfort. The waiting time for uploading it was a little bit increasing the tension just a slight bit, but publishing was very without issues. Also just having no views yesterday the first time was also completely mundane and without any issues. Today I just felt a little bit of nervousness when I still was lying in bed when I woke up. That very quickly reduced basically to zero. Not exactly zero, but like difficult to even feel after I stood up. And even now, I don't know, everything feels normal. I don't feel any kind of tension right now. I don't feel discomfort. It's also experienceable. I'm talking a little bit more, feeling a little bit more easy being here, doing this practice. So now let's just observe and feel if everything's going on inside me or will change, and then I talk about it. So at best, I might feel a very tiny amount of tension, like a very, very tiny one. I'm not even sure if I'm feeling this, to be honest. Other than that, I feel quite comfortable being here. Nothing unusual that I feel. My mind is also very normal. There's nothing different. Having this camera pointed at me that goes public right now. Today I'm talking a little bit more because, well, it just feels easier. It just feels normal. There's nothing with it, nothing on it. I hope that maybe tomorrow I can extend this practice from just observing being in front of the camera and just observing making that kind of an empty video and making and editing it very easily and publishing it to try to observe how it is when I talk about something. Like I will probably just go to a very simple topic, like some mundane topic that I will talk about, and observe how is it talking about it, how does it feel, how is it going, and do these practices for a little bit, and then step for step get it towards talking about topics that I want to talk about on this channel, and talking a little bit more about topics where I might feel a little bit more insecure about, or where I might feel a little bit more discomfort sharing that. So from going to very mundane, boring topics to more planned and more set up topics, and then or first to topics where I feel they're fitting the format and the idea of this channel a little bit more, with an easier kind, making them slowly a little bit more what I want them to be about, and then adding preparation and like structure to it. Then maybe going to like actually also making a hook, like slowly going towards how I would make my actual YouTube videos in how I talk about them. But in that process, very much focusing about how do I feel with it, observing it. It's about observing how I feel talking about topics and extending them. And when I make a hook, how do I feel making the hook? And with that practice of focusing on my feelings and how I feel and how I'm here and how I'm talking, to then at one point in, I don't know, days, weeks, months, probably not days, not sure if it will be weeks, more so like in the months, so like maybe in summer, I'm at a point, very optimistic in summer, I could be at a point where I'm doing kind of YouTube videos how I would do them in the long term, and working on then not just my feelings, but then also on the skills on how to talk, what to talk about, what's the format, what's my audience, what do they want, how can I provide them value, stuff like that. So that's my hope, where these practices can go. I will just listen a little bit into me to see what do I feel. I feel a little bit more tense. Those are, in many cases, muscle tensions. I am not sure. I mean, more, it's very slight, like it's very low intensity. Which probably comes from the talking also. Again, I'm not sure how much that is just physically, which I would feel today anyway, which I have on many days, like tensions here or things like that. I have that in the last months and years anyway, so it's difficult for me to say how much of that is actually from this experience here and how much might just come from me getting through this a little bit more sensitive, and I feel it a little bit more, or maybe there's a part of, well, I get a little bit more tense and a little bit, because I don't feel discomfort, I don't feel any like emotional discomfort, but there's a little bit of, again, tension in my body. I'm not necessarily feeling like I tense up again from discomfort, so I can't really be sure if that slight increase in tension comes more from muscle tension that I would have anyway, where maybe this experience and also just observing myself and listening to myself a little bit more with that. Is it just an increase of sensitivity, so I feel it a little bit more because I get more sensitive, or because I'm tensing up? I can't say what of those things it actually are. But I'm hopeful, feeling a lot more easier and just wanting to talk, even in this practice where it's just about feeling. I think I really should go to the next step and make just a talking practice, starting to observe how I feel when I talk. My time's already up. This was a good one.